Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Get woke, go broke. Let's do a little bit of arithmetic. Let's talk about the MLB. Baseball is as American as apple pie, it's as American cheese. Lefties, the woke Twitter mob, seem to hate America. They want to do everything, seemingly are fully intent on destroying America and rebuilding it in their twisted vision. And so I question myself, why would the MLB be catering to a group of people who shouldn't even really be their demographic? And this is a concept that we see all of the time when it comes to these corporations that go woke. They get broke. Gillette, for instance, the best a man can get, catered to the feminist Twitter mob that hates men and pushed the notion of toxic masculinity. It's been, maybe like a year and a half since they launched that marketing campaign. I have still yet to buy a single Gillette product, and I don't think I ever will again. MLB's doing what they're doing, and people are not exactly happy about it. They're probably going to go down the same path as the NBA, and that's the path of getting woke and going broke. They just don't get it. And I have a couple stories here that I want to show you that are pretty much going to prove my point. Baseball fans are fans of baseball. You know what they're not fans of? Democrat politicians and phony Democrat slander surrounding voting laws. And a couple failed Democrat leaders just got booed off the stage or off the field at 2 different baseball games in one day. It doesn't get better than that, folks. This, my friends, is karmic justice. This, my friends, is get woke, go broke. And the MLB needs to start paying attention to what the true dynamic is. We got a lot to get into, but before we do, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We're still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. And with that out of the way, let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so here is the headline. Watch, Illinois governor, Chicago mayor booed at Chicago White Sox game. Their entry into the field was seen as less than optimal for the duo. Check this out. Oof, there's a word that the youngins like using these days, which is absolutely perfect for this one. Yikes. The entire stadium basically erupted in boos, except for one partisan Democrat, probably part of a teachers union, trying to outdo the entire crowd with a bunch of woos. It's not gonna work. Public opinion is set, at least from MLB fans is what it seems. Even in Democrat California, we had basically the exact same thing play out. We all know Mayor Eric Garcetti, Mr. Defund the Police, Mr. Shutting down all of your business, except for, of course, all the movie studios and all the connected celebrities who are allowed to do whatever they want. The people at the opening game for the Los Angeles Dodgers weren't exactly too pleased with Mr. Garcetti.
Please join me in welcoming Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti, LA City Council member Gil Cedillo, Hall of Fame broadcaster Jaime Harin.
And isn't it so interesting? What is it with these failed politicians showing up at these baseball games as if they're deserving of anything? I mean, what has Lori Lightfoot done? Let's think about the last couple of months. I mean, we've covered her pretty extensively, especially back in the day when she was making big headlines. I mean, what is there to celebrate with Mayor Lori Lightfoot's absolute failure, abysmal, derelict Democrat leadership? Well, I guess there's this. Oh, well, now it all makes sense why she got booed. Eric Garcetti, the exact same thing. These Democrats have accomplished nothing except for making their cities more economically devastated than every other city and every other state with their draconian coof measures. They've defunded the police and handcuffed the police. And all we've seen across California and Chicago are increases in violent crime and homicide rates, the likes of which we haven't seen since the 1990s. And people are supposed to celebrate them. Don't celebrate them, censure them. They need to be replaced. What is there to celebrate? The abject failure of the state of California? As a record number of San Franciscans fleeing to Texas and Florida? You're not doing a good job if the lower and middle class, and even in many cases, the business class and the wealthy class, are getting the heck out of there. What's there to celebrate the increase in crime as many of these leaders have defunded the police and are now backtracking big time, realizing how hard they screwed up as the year 2021 hits the highest homicide rate in nearly 2 decades. Portland Portland City Council approves $1.4 million for unarmed patrols to combat gun violence. $1.4 million right back in for unarmed patrols. I'm sure that's gonna work. Once again, the naivete of these derelict Democrat leaders will do nothing but fail the exact people that they pretend to care about. Mayor Lori Lightfoot grouping with Black Lives Matter and in solidarity with left-wing activists during the height of the George Floyd riots. But what has she done for her constituents? What has she done for black people other than make the situation worse? Go after police officers as the true victims and the most vulnerable people in these communities. What are they victim to? Is it police brutality? No, it's gang violence. 750 murders in Chicago just last year. In one metropolitan city, 750 people lost their lives to gun violence. Oh, but don't worry, she tweeted something about gun control. Problem solved. These people don't care. They pander and they get elected off your back, off your issues, off your suffering, and then do absolutely nothing for it. Getting booed at a White Sox game or getting booed at a Dodgers game, if anything, is getting off easy. Oh, and by the way, on that same notion of political grifters fundraising and gaining political power on the backs of social issues and social qualms from minority communities, BLM co-founder buys $1.4 million California home in a posh neighborhood. Isn't that so interesting? The year after BLM as an organization fundraised billions of dollars, one of the co-founders is now a multi-millionaire living a lavish lifestyle with the celebrities in an all-white neighborhood on the hills in California. Definitely down with the cause and really making an impactful change on the streets for the people who need it the most. Of course not. That money went to getting Joe Biden elected, went to the Democrat coffers, is going to Democrat campaigns, so Democrats can continue to make these issues worse and then get elected once again and continue the fundraising cycle over and over and over again. The Democrats are the perpetrators themselves, pointing the finger at everybody but themselves. Like I always say, stealing your wallet and then pointing at a guy who happens to be jogging down the street. Oh, he did it. And then that guy gets tackled by the person who lost their wallet. Of course, the Democrat has already left the scene and is picking out the bills and tosses the wallet in the trash. Not only did they take your money, but now you gotta go get a new ID and you gotta cancel all your credit cards. That's the Democrat Party. And speaking of which, Portland, Oregon in general, a city that's been ravaged by left-wing lunatics. Look at this headline right over here. Failed Oregon governor vows to eradicate Trump forces, sympathizes with Antifa murder while condemning Trump and federal officers. How partisan, how deluded do you have to be as a Democrat in the city of Portland to think that the problem is not Antifa after Mr. 100% Antifa committed a literal terrorist act on your streets, and to think that the problem is Trump? Completely ridiculous across the board. Democrats in all positions of power in nearly every single city, every single state are either corrupt, incompetent, derelict, or all of the above, and they prove it to us on a near constant basis. Not to say that Republicans don't have their own problems, as Senator McConnell's PAC announces it will back Trump-hating rhino Lisa Murkowski in primary. Yeah, alright, Mr. McConnell, let's see how that works out. All I know is that the establishment on both sides of politics is completely out of control these days, but it seems as though on the Republican side they're being censured and removed at every point in turn, while the Democrats don't seem to hold their own accountable, and it seems as though Democrat incompetence isn't going anywhere anytime soon. That's a video that I got for you guys on this one though. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We're still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. But of course, I gotta get back to work. There's a whole lot of disingenuous Democrats, derelict Democrats, deplorable Democrats who need to be censured on a daily basis. So I'm gonna get to that. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.